Yo, this your boy, the Sports Doctor Spot, coming at you with part two of the Mr. McMahon, my reaction to the Mr. McMahon documentary, episode three. I be messing up, y'all. I'm an imperfect person. I'm messed up, and now it has to be two videos. The first one is actually uploading right now, though. If you want to go check that out, it should be done by the time I'm finished with this video, and then I'll put this one up right away. We started left off with the relationship or between Shawn Michaels and Bret the Hitman Hart right before the Montreal screw job. So without further ado, we're going to get right back into the story. We get right back into it here.
Study promos. Derek go off, rip, say something personal. He's not the World Wrestling Federation. Not now. Why? For his financial gain. After a while, you begin to know what bothers somebody, and man, I poked that bear like nobody's business. I was such a prick. I came close to.
Yeah, he admitted it. I guess he's, became a little bit of a better person now that he's got a little bit, as we all do. You grow as a person. Hopefully you're not the same moron you were when you get in your 50s as you were in your 20s, 30s, and even maybe 40s. Hopefully you move past the dumb shit by the time you get to be a little older. And it sounds like Shawn Michaels has. Go ahead, Brett.
Shawn quite a few times. That's some sunny days, my friend. Telling on national TV that I'm banging Sonny when I'm a married man. You're crossing a line where you're messing with my family. You're messing with me on a personal level. And it's bullshit.
What were your thoughts about that?
My thoughts at the time was, well, this is good for television. The Survivor Series, presented live by So we have this last match, yeah.
I actually bought this pay-per-view and I saw it, and I remember watching it and seeing the way it ended, kind of like because right after it ended, it just went straight to black. I mean, it cut right off. The last thing you seen was Brad get up and spit basically all over Vince, and that was it. Yeah, they setting it up now.
Brett, okay, I want to do the honor for Shawn tonight because we need someone to replace you. And Brett said, well, I don't want to do that, especially in Canada. There was a phone call that happened with Shawn, myself, and Vince. Vince said, look, Brett's not going to do it. He just refuses to do it. I don't remember all the specifics, but basically I was the one that was like, well, fuck that. If he won't do it for him. I met Vince when I was 23 years old. I've spent more time with him than I have my own father. I get emotional about it because it's, I put him through a lot. I was in a bad place for a lot of years, and he put up with it. To me, he deserves something in return for that. And so for that, I give him my loyalty. All he had to do is look at me and say, Shawn, this is what I want. And I did it. On that night, he did not want Bret Hart walking out of that building with the championship. And I made sure that happened. Day of, I was told that it was going to be the schma's finish and everybody was going to get involved. We were going to throw the match out and we'd figure out what to do afterwards.
Yeah, see, Bruce said he didn't know. This is the first time where I've heard Shawn actually admit that he knew what was going on. It's the first time I've heard that.
Oz is a big brawl with a bunch of different guys, and the referee just throws it out. No one really wins or loses, and it's like, that works for me. But the WWE have been screwing wrestlers in different ways for a long time. I knew about Wendy Richter, so I didn't trust anything. Never took my eyes off Shawn. If he wants to make this a real fight, we can make it a real fight anytime he wants to. I will fight him to the death. If you watch that match, it's a great match. Eventually,
This was a hell of a match between two, as said before, really good performers. Um, that had to end into what's known today as the Montreal Screwjob.
Sean puts me in the sharpshooter, which he's not finishing move. And in fact, puts it on wrong. If you see a shot, I correct Sean while he's doing it, and he switches it, puts it on right, and then turns me over, and I can see the timekeeper, and I see Vince yell at him. I'm yelling at the timekeeper, ring the bell, ring the bell. Even though Brett never chopped out. He won't ring it. He's like stunned. He's like, and then I see Vince snap at him. They ring the fucking bell. The bell rings. And I'm screaming on the headset, why'd you ring the bell? And I can feel it. Like everything is coming to me now. It's like, they did it. They did screw you.
Yeah, see, Vince probably protected Bruce and didn't tell him what was going on. And a lot of people take credit. Vince Russo is taking credit for like coming up with the concept, I think. Or was Russo even there? Or Jim Cornette said that he's taking credit for it. I don't know, because I wasn't there, who to believe for this, but I think a lot more people knew about it than what is being let on for us to believe, or what they're telling. I think more people had to know about it because of the way it went off. And like I said, I remember watching it there at this point where Sean put on Brett's finisher, and then Vince got him to ring the bell. Now Brett is about to get up and spit all over Vince. And then the pay-per-view went off. That was it. It went right off after that. Wanted to be out at ringside so that he would know what happened. And I took back what was mine. Brett obviously didn't like that. When you have a match as hard as I was wrestling at the time, you get a fair bit of froth in your mouth. I leaned over and I spit on his face. I got him bullseye right into my eye. That was gross, but nonetheless, I thought, damn, how did he do that? And then I went out and full call on monitors. Yeah, Brad went out, was pissed. Like, Wendy was pissed, but Brad destroyed everything at ringside. It threw everything around. I used to watch my father flip the fuck out like this. Go ahead. Throwing furniture and shit. It was just chaos. Brett writes WCW in the air. It's hard for people to imagine how mad you can get when you get betrayed like that on national television, and in a lot of ways kind of made a fool of. My brother Owen was very calming. That wasn't right what they did. That was wrong. And you have all respect of everybody in the dressing room and that kind of stuff. He was very consoling to me at that time. Damn. 14 years I've given to Vince McMahon 100% every night. I've bled for him. I've took front turnbuckles at 100 miles an hour. I've given him Christmas mornings with my kids that never happened. I've never missed a show. I've given this guy everything I got. I couldn't have given a man more than what I gave Vince McMahon. None of that meant anything. When Vince screwed me that day in Montreal, when I walked back to that dressing room, I'm ready to kill him. Like, beat him to death. Sean, you were in on that? Yeah, see, Brett's taking off his boots. Like, Sean, you were in on that? Because he would have whooped Sean's ass, too. Like, he was taking off his boots like he was ready for some real action. No kayfabe, no selling, no storyline. Brett wanted to fight. You should see the look on his face. I invite y'all to go ahead and watch this documentary on Netflix called Mr. McMahon. Go ahead. He came up immediately and said, "Did you know?" I said, "And the guy did not." Vince was so adamant we had to
absolutely swear that we knew nothing about this. He was like, I don't care who asks you. You bold-faced lie right to them and say, I knew nothing about this. This was a Vince McMahon call. I swear to God. I swear to God.
So Brad's dead wife, Julie, is talking to Paul Levesque, Triple H, and she scolded him, and Triple H is like, I swear to God, I don't know nothing about it. He admits now that he did know something about it, that Vince pretty much swore him to secrecy. Julie's all in Triple H's face right now.
Someday God's gonna strike you down. There's chaos in the back and people everywhere freaking out. Just remember something, Hunter. What goes around comes around. I remember being just so pissed that they did things this way. I think Vince is in a panic mode, and it's kind of like, what can I do to stop this rebellion right now? I felt like, in a strange sort of way, because Brett and I had this relationship, I felt like I sort of owed Brett something, because at this standpoint, I double-crossed him. Vince said, look, he's going to want to hit me, and I owe him that. I can picture him walking in that locker room in Montreal. Everybody else fired up, everybody else emotional. I leave the room because I don't want to watch Vince get punched. Finally, Brett gets up, walks across the room. They all kind of meet. I walk over to his locker room, hands down, and Brett hauls off it. Man, he hit me so hard, right in the temple. There was no, like, Vince is going to give me a shot. Like, I don't know where they get that story, because that is such a bunch of bullshit. It was Vince and me came at each other, and we actually tied up like a wrestling match. Everybody's ready to pounce on me as soon as we grab each other. And I remember going, the only way I can get a shot in, one shot maybe, is an uppercut. And I came right up between Vince's arms, and it was like, when you hit the bell, when the thing goes up. To this day, I have no idea how the punch got through. He was out cold like a starfish. Drilled him. Probably the best thing I ever did, and he deserved every bit of that. Vince did get seriously hurt. I mean, Vince had, big, nice shiner. That night, I'm limping around, and like, oh my God, stars are all over the place in terms of my head. It was a pretty good concussion. I felt bad. I felt bad for Brett. I felt bad for Vince. Vince didn't want to do that, but he had to do what's best for business, and that's what he's always going to do. That was the mantra.
Yeah, he you could tell he came on TV the next day with a black eye. Brett seems to have hit him pretty hard, because they said he knocked him cold right in the temple. Now, I've heard both versions of this story, that, Vince gave him a shot, and I've also heard from a bunch of people that came together. I've heard Brett's version too. I'm not sure who to believe on this one. Brett seems to be the most honest person out of the two. But, Vince might have felt bad because he knew the dude 14 years. He knew the dude's dad. Maybe he did give him a shot. Who knows? Just God. Only God knows at this point, or the people who are actually there. Let's finish this off.
Screw job, as it was called. And to this day, I don't regret any of it. Things just got real. And it gave me a whole different perspective for the business. The Montreal screw job was like a moment in time where you can see the shift. It's like a landmass moving. You don't see it, but then there's a moment in time, there's a big earthquake, and it moves a bunch, and you go like, oh, I saw it. It like shifted, and there was a seismic change. The real life event that happened, the dispute with Brett and the controversy afterwards, led to the birth of a Mr. McMahon character that became one of the most hated characters and most beloved characters of all time. In the midst of chaos, a lot of times genius comes out of it. Is this the final nail, so to speak, in the World Wrestling Federation? Au contraire.
Yeah, that is how the Mr. McMahon character started. They wanted Vince turned into probably one of the best heels ever. Your boss at work. He made that work for him. He's Vince is pretty good out of making money out of Boo Boo. Turning a shit situation into profit because he was just that smart. Go ahead, Vince.
We're just getting started.
Okay. Well, that was episode 3 of the Mr. McMahon documentary. Go over on Netflix and check it out. It's very good. I hope you also enjoyed this video. Like, share, and subscribe. If you have not already subscribed, you can check me and Michael Love out on Sundays. We have got our 45th subscriber. If we could get 5 more subscribers by Saturday, you guys will actually get a live show where you can interact with us. This has been the Sports Doctor Spock Mickey Coleman for Michael Love. Take care.